welcome back to Wild and Free Art. Today I'm going to attempt to make a little autumn themed journal using just junk. I have been collecting it for such a long time and I think that it's time to use it up. So I've decided that I'm going to use this little advertising thing as a cover. It's somewhat sturdy and we'll make it a bit sturdier. And then I have this old matte frame thing that's been laying around forever. And I was thinking of using it as just like part of the cover, and then I can slip autumn images in and out of it, or just keep them in. I'm not sure yet, but kind of taking it as it comes. And for the pages, I have so many of these envelopes that I have been hoarding and collecting, you know, from birthday cards and Happy Mail and just advertising and stuff. And I thought that I could use these for the pages. So some of them I can open up, some of them I can turn into pockets, and all that jazz. But first, and then I'm going to like collage on them and stuff like that too. So I thought that first, I would put a base layer on my pages with some acrylic paints. And I was inspired to do this by Kerry Griffiths. I will link his channel below. And the video, he did some decorated envelopes that he uses to tuck things in and all that kind of stuff. And they came out really nice. So I thought I would kind of use that technique to kind of make a base layer for some of these envelopes. Some of them I will cover up, some of them I'll open up, I don't know, but at least I have no blank page, so I won't have the fear of the blank page on the end. So we're going to do that now. So all you need is your scrap envelopes, a jelly plate or a glass plate or an acrylic paint or something to put the paint on, and your acrylics, and a brayer or other roller just to spread the paint. I suppose you could do it with a paintbrush as well. And a spritz bottle, just of water, just to maybe loosen it up if it needs to be done. So I've chosen a bunch of autumn colors here, just to stay in the theme. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is just put a layer of this unbleached titanium, just to kind of like gesso it, so it kind of adds just a little bit of base coverage on most of these ones that have writing on them. And so I'm going to start with that, and then we get to have some fun doing the actual envelopes. My roller is still a bit wet from being rinsed off, but that's all right. So I'm just gonna kind of go on there, pull it off. It's just a little layer, warms up the stark whiteness of everything, and put it to the side. Doesn't have to be perfect. This one I'm just gonna do this side because this one doesn't have any writing. And I don't mind that there's still some gunk on there from previous pulls and stuff, because we're going to be covering it up anyway. And damn, sorry, I just got attacked by a shield bug, aka stink bug. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, they are everywhere. It's insane. They just don't go away. I don't know. It's like when we were in the UK, it was ladybirds everywhere, ladybirds in this season. But here, there's the less cute and more stinky stink bugs, which is, you know, great fun. I think they're attracted to my light that I have here on the filming thing. There we go. Okay, so now that we've kind of put a little base layer on these. I mean, obviously it's not really covering it that much, but you know, it's a start. We can start building up the layers that we're going to put on the actual, oh my gosh, envelopes. So I want to go with autumnal colors because that's going to be the base. I'm just going to play around a bit. Sometimes I might add some water. Sometimes I might just take it up as it is. So it's just a question of building up layers and changing up the colors every once in a while. I mean, Kerry explains it super well in his video, so I would recommend watching that. His are very beautiful and very colorful. So I'm just gonna start a couple. Running out of paint here on this one. I'm gonna try and work my way from darker colors to lighter colors, just to, you know, kind of put some layers on there, but obviously there's no right rhyme or reason. You can do it in whatever order you want. So you just kind of go in there and just dab it. So in my case, I'm really trying to focus on covering up these written bits here. So once you can do a bit on the front, and then once that's dried, you can turn it around and do a bit on the back. So I'm just kind of coming on like this, a little bit here, a little bit there. Give it a spritz. So, I mean, if you spray it, you kind of get a different effect. So that's always something fun and nice. So now we'll move on to a brown. This. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip them over again and do the other side. And basically, I'm just gonna keep going on and trying to just build up the layers. And hopefully the result will be nice autumn bases that I can work on for my collage projects and autumn themed, you know, scrapbook that I'm trying to create here. So now these are more or less, I'm gonna call them done. I'm going to let them dry fully, and in the meantime, we are going to start working on the cover. So I'm just gonna tidy this up and then we'll be back.
So these are the envelopes that have been finished and are nice and dry. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with how they came out. Although not all of the writing was covered, a good amount of it was, and it was dulled down a little bit. And yeah, if I were to do it again, probably I would try and stay away from the edge because I did get quite a few little stiff corners like on that one there. So I wasn't too keen on that, but I'm sure that I'll be able to cover it all up anyways with collaging and decorating and ephemera and all that kind of stuff. So it's not too bad. So now that I have all the envelopes decorated, what I'm going to do is start preparing them to create signatures. So I'm going to start gluing some of them closed to make pockets. I'll be opening some other ones and opening them up like pages, and then putting them together in a single signature. So here I've decided to make two little pockets, and I've decided that I'm going to hinge them together using my homemade grungy washi tape. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it below, and maybe even here if I remember at some point in this video. It's super easy to make, and it comes out looking really awesome. So here I've just decided to put two pieces of my washi tape on here just to create a hinge and then be able to sew it in to my binding. So now I have my signature more or less sorted. It's time to start working on my cover. So in order to give the cover a little bit more reinforcement, I've decided to cover it up using some scrapbooking paper bits that I had lying around, still not used. So they're all like grungy ones and some scraps of various kinds. I also do pull out some of my jelly prints that I made in a previous session in order to cover it and give it a bit more of an autumn feel to it. You'll see me here as I just experiment with different layouts and different setups and how everything will fit together, and finding just the best way to make it look the way I want to get the vibe that I want to get from it. So helps you watching my thinking process as I start putting together the cover for this. I also wanted to keep in this mistake that I made. I used double-sided tape that was too wide, so I couldn't get the image I wanted to slide into the front into it. So I just thought I would keep it in there to show you that, you know, everyone makes mistakes, and that's okay. Here I decided to reinforce the spine with some of my grungy tape, just to make sure that the paper didn't rip while I was sewing in the signature. So once the cover was the way I wanted it, it was time to sew in my signatures. I decided to just use some embroidery floss in a orange color and a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, but this time I started the stitch from the outside so I could have some little dangly bits.
Okay, so I have done a little bit of embellishing on the little book I've made. I made a little ginkgo and a little maple leaf in macrame, and I used that as a dangle on the extra string that came out from the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I've added a little oak leaf and a little sentiment on there, and I started decorating the inside with some bits that I've saved. So basically what I want to use this one for is little quotes and stuff like that for autumn and different celebrations, etc., that you do in autumn. So I've just added a couple little bits here, using what I had in the house and other bits that have been given to me. I've used that as a pocket to keep some things that got sent to me through Happy Mail and exchanges. I've done a little Halloween one. And then I used that pocket there for another thing. So, you know, I mean, obviously this is a work in progress, and maybe when it's done, I can do a flip through if you like. But it's just there to show you what you can do with some scraps that you have in the house, and you don't really need anything super fancy to make something fun and cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it's inspired you to get rid of all those envelopes and some of that junk mail that you've had lying around. And I'd love to know what you make. You can tag me on Instagram with @lifeiswildandfree. Or you can share in the Facebook group, which is Create Wildly. I'll put links to both below. And in the meantime, happy creating. Bye bye.